All right, now let's go to that very important commodity. It's Garri. It's very staple food in Nigeria now. Unfortunately, even those at the lower level of the financial cadre in the country have not been spared, because even if you are depending on Garri as your staple food, the price has gone up about 122% in the last 1 year to 40,000 for 150 kg bag in the last 1 year. We know it's made from cassava, which is supposed to be produced in Nigeria. Nigeria is the leading producer of cassava on the continent. So why can't we cushion this? But let's have this conversation now with Ifoma. Ifoma is from Financial Derivatives Company. She joins us for this. Hi, Ifoma. Good afternoon. I think you should unmute. I see your lips moving, but I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Hi, Ifoma.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. So one would have thought that Nigeria, being a major producer of cassava, which is the raw material for Garri, that at least there'll be some kind of stability in the price of Garri in the country.
Yes, that's supposed to be so, but what we are saying is the contrary, and this is because of the high cost of food in Nigeria. We notice that food inflation is the highest when it comes to inflation numbers, and we see that a lot of people are beginning to look for substitutes, and Garri will be the fastest substitute because you spend less consuming Garri. You can either take it using your groundnut, you can take it with moi, with akara, with beans. So a lot of people are moving towards the consumption of Garri, and this has increased demand over time. And we have this supply-demand shortage or supply-demand gap, which is causing what we call the price dynamics of Garri that we're seeing today. Also coupled with the fact that cassava is the most important root crop in Nigeria as far as consumption is concerned. And you see that we have a lot of value chain when it has to do with cassava. It can be used for other things aside Garri. So the demand for those things are also high. That's why we're seeing a hike in the price of Garri this season.
Yeah, we know there are other derivatives from Garri, which can also serve as alternative. Do we see people turning the other way?
If you say Garri is even cheaper, you want to compare Garri to Sebo, or you want to compare Garri to what other alternatives do we have? Wheat and other alternatives, they are quite high. So Garri seems to be the substitute that is at least cheaper for now for people at the bottom of the pyramid.
And
so that's why
it doesn't seem like we have conversations around, what to do to boost the supply of cassava, to reduce the price, because of course, when we have more supply, we can expect that the price would depreciate.
The issue is the issue we have is the technological gap. So we are seeing what we have. There's no value chain when it has to do with cultivation, processing, and the other stuff. So that gap is a challenge we have. So we need investors in that space to be able to fill in the gap.
All right.
I think that's what we need.
All right. Ifoma Nwokolo, thank you so much for sharing your views with us this afternoon. Now, moving on to other African countries, there's a